I want to thank my colleague, Senator Little, for bringing this legislation to the floor. You know, one of the beauties of this state is that it's not only the diversity of its people, but the diversity of its geography. You've got the skyline of Manhattan all the way through the Adirondacks, the mountains, and the Finger Lakes. It really is a gorgeous state. And, you know, growing up in New York City, sadly, I didn't really get to appreciate how diverse this state is from one end to the other. And, you know, it just seems to me, I always hear how people from one part of the state shouldn't tell the people of New York City what to do. And I feel like that's what's happening here. You know, you want to talk about a sport that's dangerous, as if that's the concern here, and I'm sure it is. There's always risk in any sport. My daughter, Abigail Elizabeth, starting player, just bragging right now, on her high school varsity basketball team. You know what I learned? Basketball is one of the most dangerous sports there is for young people. Traveled around New York City from one high school gym to the other. Invariably, there was always at least 2 or 3 players sitting on the bench with a cast on an arm, a cast on the ankle, a cast on the leg. Soccer, you want to talk about broken ankles and torn ligaments, concussions, safety of 10-year-old kids. Every time a 10-year-old kid gets on a bicycle in New York City, let me tell you, it's really dangerous. We encourage kids to get on bicycles in New York City. Every time a 10-year-old crosses a busy street in New York City, it's pretty darn dangerous. We don't ask kids to take a course. Maybe we should have an 8-hour course crossing streets, riding bicycles, but we leave it to parents. Some might think that's wrong because I know there's a lot of snickering. Oh, these parents upstate, what do they know? They're a bunch of hicks. I'm sure people say that about parents in New York City. What do they know? They let their kids run amok. But that is what's happening. It's this intolerance for different approaches to life. It's an intolerance to the notion that parents care about their kids. And if parents out in the Adirondacks where they actually have trails and open spaces, there used to be trails and open spaces in New York City, but they've been covered over by concrete, and the trees have been taken down, so it's tough to ride a snowmobile in New York City. It'd be great if you could, but you can't. It's really dangerous there because we've made it really dangerous in New York City to do things like the kinds of things that you can do upstate. I know as a kid growing up on Staten Island, we used to go upstate all the time to do these sorts of things, to ride quads, to go outside, to hike, and to do a lot of the things you can't do in New York City anymore. So we've got to recognize and appreciate how lucky and fortunate we are to live in this great state, where you can ride snowmobiles upstate and enjoy the hustle and bustle of New York City. This is a good bill. This allows kids to get out there, enjoy the environment, engage in something that's healthy and positive, as opposed to some of the negative things that kids can get involved in. So I want to thank Senator Little. I vote aye.